Hey, Todd Burrier from toddburrier.com. So I want to talk very briefly about how to strengthen your competitive advantage. And, it's very classic to look at competitive advantage in one specific lens, right? I mean, the definition of competitive advantage, right, is to have a cost advantage in the way you can create a widget so that you can bring it to market in a better margin than your competitor. That's like the core definition, but obviously that's expanded over the years to really include points of difference and all this other lingo that is spoken in business. But the reality is competitive advantage is anything where you have some sort of advantage over the people who are in the same marketplace as you. So it could be cost factors and production factors. It could be quality. It could be your market positioning. It could be your incredible R&D. It could be some sort of technology and system that you're using. The reality to all those competitive advantages though, and this is just a real thing, is that there are things you have to convince somebody that is real, right? Because everybody on the planet says the same stuff. We have the best products. We have the best technology. We have the best this and the best that. And some people actually do. But if you think about it, most of the people that do the most business in the world aren't necessarily the ones with the best widget, right? They're not the best widget. They're not the best marketing of the widget, not the best packaging of the widget, not the best advertising for the widget. So what's the differentiation? And so this is a quick concept for you that will help you whether or not you are an entrepreneur and operating solely on your own, whether you are working for someone but are a point of developing business, or whether you are someone who is running a division or a corporation that has thousands of people in it. Because it comes down to the people. The most significant competitive advantage in any business is people. I mean, it's always going to be people, right? All you have to do is think about this. Businesses are made up of people, right? There's been many, many great products that never made it or didn't make it very long. Why? Because they didn't have the right people to make it happen. And there's been many really average, mediocre products that were massive successes because they had the right people. And so if you take this to the next step, because obviously you want to, I say obviously, everything I talk about it relates to sustainability. You want to do things sustainably. I know there's some people that just care about the quick hit. I wouldn't be a person who could advise that person because I don't operate that way or think that way. I believe in everything takes time of value, right? But think about this. Loyalty is to people. People do business with people. And so your competitive advantage is going to be in your people. And so from an organizational perspective, that means you need to train them. And I'm not saying that you need to train them better in the actual job skills. You probably already do that very well. Right? That's something that practically every company does is really work hard at making sure the person who takes on a job knows how to do that job, knows what the core competencies are of that job. And they work at making sure they know it all and they know where to go to get the answer and they know what level of autonomy they have for decision making, etc. But man, that is the least important thing in the big picture because you could have a robot do that, right? So if you're gonna have a person, you want that person to be the best they possibly can be in doing that job, which means you have to train them in the other competencies that then accelerate their ability to do the job. And those are two specific major areas of competencies. One is interpersonal core competencies. There's very few people that don't interact with another human being in anything, right? And the way they interact affects how they do their job. And I mean, even if they're not interfacing in a way that they advance the company, they're still affecting people environmentally if they're not very good communicator, for example. And so if you can give them some training on interpersonal skills and make them a much better person as it relates to communicating with another person in the right way, in the most effective ways possible, you now enhance their job effectiveness. And same is with the productivity skills. I mean, this is a major area for stress management. Most people don't have a clue how to properly plan and utilize their time and maximize their efficiencies. They don't know how to do that stuff. You have an entire workforce generally that does not know how to do that, right? They do what they do, right? They do whatever has gotten them this far in life with, really very little guidance in that area, which means that they have so many holes in their boat. It's incredible. And so when you are able to give them training in those areas, you dramatically enhance their ability to be effective in the job that you're teaching the skills for, right? So you have a better human being in the work doing the job. And then you could take that into the personal side. If you're not getting the training in your organization, that's not an excuse if you're trying to get ahead, right? And if you're an entrepreneur or you're someone in sales or you're in some sort of part of the work that is you're responsible for production that dictates what's possible for you, you've got to invest in yourself to do the same things I just talked about. So if the company is not, well, if you're an entrepreneur, obviously you are the company, and that goes for a home business person or someone who's starting up a brick and mortar operation. Doesn't matter. You have to be the one that goes after getting those core competencies, because you have to understand that your success is going to rise and fall with how you deliver, with how you show up, with the impact you have when you engage with people, with whether or not you do what you say you're going to do, right? All those things involve those core competencies. And then the other thing you've got to do, and you absolutely have to do it, is you have to dedicate time to investing in your health. Because if you don't do that, well, you're not going to be nearly as good day to day as you could be. You're not going to have nearly the energy in the day, and you're not going to have nearly the longevity over the career. So it's not just a long-term thing, it's a right now thing, right? So you have to invest in your people or in yourself, because you are the competitive advantage. That's the number one thing you have to recognize. Each human being becomes the competitive advantage. Then whatever your actual competitive advantages are in your business model get magnified. I hope that was helpful for you.